I'm James Walker, and this is Real Talk, Real People. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you very much for joining us again this week. If you recall, at the end of December, I talked to you about how pleased we were with the numbers that came from Spotify and our end of the year review. It showed a lot of growth for us, and we were very excited, and it has spurred us on to make some additional changes for 2022. And you will begin to see those changes sometime within the next 2 weeks. So I should say 2 weeks from today. But at any rate, we wanted to continue to make sure you had something to entertain you while we go through these changes. So we are inviting you to hang out with the Walkers. You know what I'm really pissed about? Um, I can't believe that voting is back. It is has become a major thing again.
Of course, James. This has been the talk for
Yeah.
the last. It's basically you're looking at Kirsten Cinema and Manchin, Joe Manchin.
Bourbon says she didn't get a link.
I sent it. I'll send her another one.
But you're right, James. It just feels like here we are fighting this fight that we should have, we should have stopped fighting years ago.
Yeah. Well, that's it's the Republicans because they want to get control of everything, and I don't know if they want Trump back in, but they want Trump or somebody like him back in.
The
So
problem is that you got weak ass Democrats.
That's-
That's your
that's-
problem.
yep, you're
You got
absolutely
weak-ass
right.
Democrats who don't know how to play this game and don't
You're
know how to play.
absolutely right.
Well, the progressives did not want to pass the first bill, the infrastructure bill, unless they passed this one too, because they said as soon as we say yes to the infrastructure bill, you
Yeah.
will not pass.
Problems trying to vote right.
And that's exactly what they did. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But you know what?
get
If
tired
we
of
have a
hearing about it.
dictatorship, I bet they wish they had gotten on the ball.
Well, there'd be no dictatorship, not without a whole lot of bloodshed.
You know,
You
and
know,
even
and-
this country doesn't want to go there.
And bloodshed is coming no matter what you think. It's definitely coming. Which is insane.
You
know,
heard
is
Trump the
insane.
other day. I mean, did you hear? You heard the sound bites where he's at his rallies, where he's literally telling people, and this is what black people standing, behind him in those cameos that he puts up black
Yes,
people.
yeah.
You've seen these rallies where he's literally telling people, these days, if you're white people, if you're white, then you can't even get health care. They push you in the back of the line. That's right. They push the black people in the front and push the white people in the back of the line. And you should hear these rallies. You can
I
see
mean, if
he's just
when Donald
stoking,
Trump when
uh,
Donald Trump was running for president, and me and where I used to work, and we were talking about how much his tactics reminded us of Hitler, how much it reminded us of Hitler, and here we are, talking about right extremists and Nazism and white supremacy. It's
But it's
crazy.
not just them. It's these simple-minded middle class people that honestly believe that crap. That's the problem to me. How could you believe that shit? I mean, how could you believe that?
Because it's like being in a cult. It's like being in a cult, and we shake our heads and say, "How in the world can anyone believe that kind of stuff?" But it's when you're in that kind of atmosphere, and you feed that, you it's like being in a cult. You're brainwashed, and people don't, and they, I don't know, it's crazy.
Trump is the second coming. Come on. I mean, how
That's,
could
I
you?
read that. I saw
I mean, how
that.
could you?
It's like,
How could you even? I don't get it. I mean, how could you even begin to think such a thing?
and
I mean,
those,
if you
and
look at his,
of course, you have those people who are in positions of power. They don't believe it, but it's good for them politically because they can raise money off of this, and this is what they do. I mean, these people who are these religious leaders, and these people don't believe that Trump is the second coming, but it's good for them. They can raise money. Their churches are
that's
packed,
right.
you know.
That's right.
That's your question. Has anybody seen Self-Made.
No, what is it?
A movie?
Self-Made is the story of Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh, yes, I have.
Oh, no.
It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet.
I
Was
saw
it
that.
good, you mean?
It was okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 4 or 5 episodes. If it had got any more, it would have been like. That's, it was, it was all right. I didn't realize, damn, that she was so. I thought that she was more like the 30s and the 40s.
No.
But, yeah, I thought that. I didn't realize that she was so early on.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was earlier than that. Yeah.
But it's interesting because when we think about Madam C.J. Walker and our knowledge of her, I know we're thinking about the stepdaughter that because she adopted a girl, and it's that girl who carried on her legacy from 1931 through the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Right. See that
So
I didn't
remember,
know
you know
that.
the
I
house,
just-
Jackie, on High Street? Remember they used to have this big, huge house on High Street there where used to be her, and they turned it into a church where Reverend right. Well, yeah, that's all through her daughter, through her adopted daughter.
Mhm.
So that's
Oh, see,
what
I
I
didn't
thought
know she
about when
had
I thought of Madam
adopted
C.J.
daughter.
Walker.
No,
I didn't
I
realize
just-
it.
I just know her. I didn't know she had adopted daughter.
I didn't either. I always think of her because she's the first Black person to make $1 million.
Right. She's the first she's the first Black self-made female millionaire.
Right.
I think.
But
I think
she
millionaire-
married. It was her daughter. She didn't see her daughter was lesbian, and she wanted to be able to pass down her legacy, and so she had been on her daughter, to get married, and because she wanted grandkids, and her daughter was played by that girl. She used to play. She does the Groupon commercials. You ever see her in the Groupon commercial? Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany had.
Oh, Tiffany
Oh.
Haddish.
Yeah, she but she finally she said to her mother, I can't do what you're asking me to do, and so she's, don't you realize I'm dying, because she had kidney disease, but eventually her mother basically came around and said, live your life the way you want to live your life. And so they had introduced this Black girl that they found that they were using for her ads, because her husband wanted her to put this real light-skinned girl up there
What is
to
that?
use for her ads. And that was this whole movie was really about light-skinned women against black-skinned women. And that whole
Colorism.
that whole clash between blacks with white light-skinned women who had long, thin,
Yep.
and black women who had broad noses and nappy hair. And that was the whole thing. Her husband obviously had disdain for light-skinned women, and he had affairs with white light-skinned women. And he was trying to put a light-skinned woman as the face of her beauty product out on ads. And that's where they clash. She says, I want my girls to look like me, to look like Black women really look. They don't all look like that. So they sent her, she went to New York, and that's when she found all of
Right.
these different colored Black people, and
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
but anyway, so she found this Black girl. Her daughter found this Black girl to actually be the model for her product. She was like 12, 9, 10, like that, but she had this long Black hair. And so that's the girl who they wound up using for the ad, and that's the woman that she actually adopted as her.
I've been meaning to check it out because it's on Netflix. I should just watch it.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It got
Yeah,
a little
it
soap
was
opera-ish and
decent.
stuff,
It was a little
Okay.
flat
Mm.
to me, but it was decent.
I kept thinking that I'm going to see, because I thought they were going to show us, how she got to her Newark address and all that. I really thought she was more in the 30s and 40s, but it was long before she even got to Newark when she passed away. So this was years after she passed away that they
Mhm.
navigated up this way. But they got to Harlem. She opened up in Harlem before she passed.
Huh.
Yep.
Wow, boy, she was huge, baby. She lived right next door to Rockefeller.
Yeah.
I saw the some of her place that she had in New York, and it was just like, wow.
Yes. I was like, damn, girl.
Yeah, she did it.
And I mean, she did it early on, baby.
Yeah.
You know, when
You gotta
she
give
did it at
people
a
like that
time
credit.
when they could
Mhm.
take a black man off the street arbitrarily and lynch him
Yep.
without any repercussion. This is
Yep.
what she was doing in those times, you know.
Yeah,
So
which makes it even more amazing.
yeah.
I mean, because
that's-
even women were fighting
Women
for
could do
rights
that.
even then.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and that's most the suffrages was that the suffrage movement, because it was mostly white women in that, the
the
suffrage
suffragette movement.
suffragettes. Yeah, and but here you had a black woman who was doing it and did it well.
Yeah. She turned it out. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta take your hat off to her. She turned
Yeah.
it out, baby. She told him, "Pack you." It was there's one good scene. You have to see the scene where she finally confronts him because he's been cheating on basically this girl who used to be one of her top salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
She's really
Mhm.
light skinned and all this.
Yep.
And they have a clash, maybe on their front porch. Blair Underwood plays her husband.
Oh
Yep.
Why does
God.
he always play parts like
A
that?
terrible man.
He always plays like in
Yeah.
Tyler Perry movies. He plays parts.
He's so sepia, He's so whatever that look is,
Yeah, he does.
I have to
He's
tell you,
very chiseled look.
I
Yeah.
tell you, he was. I mean, in terms of his performance, he was. He's a little. What's that guy's name? He's a little Howard Rollins, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yes.
You know
he
that
is.
Howard Rollins, but
Yes,
but
he
he
is.
actually is pretty good, and he was pretty good in this. He kind of gave you what you needed. But
Yeah, I
they
never
had a
saw
scene
him.
on
I mean,
on the front porch, and she told him to pack his shit, baby. It was so
Yeah.
real.
Why you brush your hair down like
It was so
earthquake?
real.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. We want to remind people that subscribers are so important to keeping a podcast going. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to this podcast. And if you're listening to just the audio version on anchor.fm, there is a support button there. And we would certainly appreciate it if you hit that support button and help keep this podcast going. Now, let's get back to the walkers.
But you know what's funny? When you give a human being food that they haven't had before, they smell it first.
Yes.
They smell it first.
Yeah, I
like
do
that's
that.
gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
Still smell my cups.
Huh?
Like if I come to your house and drink something out of a cup, it could be clean out the drain. I still smell it before I drink it.
Yeah, people smell something that they haven't had before.
Michael
Like, what does
does
that
too.
tell you? I haven't tell you nothing.
I don't
You have to
know.
taste it.
Like I don't know. It's like,
I know. I do the same thing. You look at
I
it and you
smell it.
smell it first.
Lake said, Big Lake said that when he was a kid, because he was washing dishes and I was washing dishes and he needed a cup. So he took a cup out of the drain after that I had just washed and he washed it again. And he said, I said, was it dirty still? He said, no, Ma. He said, I just have a thing. He said, when we were little, my mother used to take us to her girlfriend's house. And one day she gave me a cup and it smelled like breath and cigarettes.
no, man.
I started dying. I said, breath and cigarettes. He said, yeah, Ma. He said it was. He started shaking his head. Lake is so funny. He started shaking his head. He said, never since then, Ma. I don't care.
You
what."
ever,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
You ever watch Michael drink
But-
out of a cup at somebody's house? He'll pick the cup up and
Just sniffs it, yeah.
then he'll drink it.
But you know what?
Cigarette.
You don't, because you don't know how clean people are. Especially if they have animals. Like some people let their animals, like especially cats, jump up on the counter and they eat from their plates. It's like that's nasty.